Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Linux Techie. I hope all of you are doing very well. So today I'm going to teach you about Amazon Q Developer CLI and how Amazon Q CLI can enhance your DevOps workflow. So without wasting much time, let's get started. So this is the agenda of our today's session. So we'll start with introduction to Amazon Q Developer CLI, then key advantages for developers and DevOps engineers, then installation and setup of Amazon Q CLI, then in-depth exploration of Q CLI capabilities. So we will work on real life use case like how to identify less secured resources such as public S3 buckets, instances without security tagging, and some other security aspects. So let's move forward and start our video. So, what exactly Amazon Q Developer CLI is? So, Amazon Q Developer CLI is a command line tool provided by AWS that helps developers and DevOps professionals interact with Amazon Q. Amazon Q is an AI powered assistant that can answer technical questions, help write code, generate documentation, and guide users through AWS tools and services directly from the terminal. That means you can utilize Q to interact with the AWS services. You can basically get an idea how to write a AWS CLI command. You can actually basically command Amazon Q CLI to perform some action in your AWS account on behalf of you. So this is really amazing tool, and I'll just walk you through in a while. Yeah, so let's take a look in benefit of using Amazon QCLI for developers and DevOps professional as well. So get real-time help and suggestion directly in your terminal because it's a CLI tool, so everything is in terminal. uh, Auto-generate code snippets from AWS services and tools. So basically, it it can help you to generate code snippets automatically for your AWS services and tools. Ask technical questions and get accurate answer from AWS documentation. Basically, it can scroll and it can go through entire AWS documentation to get you the best and accurate result. Speed up development by reducing time spent on searching for solutions. So no need to search like each and everything on internet and then build a solution. Instead, you can directly leverage this CLI tool, and this will give you uh, like more than enough accuracy. Useful for setting up infrastructure, writing policies, and managing cloud resources. So, as I said, you can leverage this QCLI and command to set up your infrastructure, writing your policies. Basically, you can interact Amazon QCLI and ask to generate S3 bucket resource policies. You can ask them to generate IAM policy in your account. You can even ask to launch an instance, and you can ask to create S3 buckets. You can query your cloud trail event history, and you can basically it's all about your thinking. Like whatever you can think, you just try to ask, and how much basically how much deep you can go with the CLI, that is your strength. So it also helps learn AWS features and best practices while working. So basically you can ask queries related to the AWS services, tooling, and features. So let's get started. So I have already navigated to the documentation to install this. So I will install this in my terminal. uh, so let's download this first, and then let's install it. Yeah, it's downloaded. Now let's install it quickly. So we can see, so Amazon Q CLI has been installed. To check, we can just type Q and enter. It says you are not logged in. Please log in with Q login. So let's just log in first, and make sure your terminal is set up with your credentials of AWS CLI. So there is a requirement, basically a prerequisite. So you need to have an IAM user with a managed policy with administrator access in order to use the full strength of the QCLI. And you need to configure your credential in your local system, or if you are using EC2, then in EC2. So basically, hope you are already aware of this credential file. So you can leverage the credential file and configure the user for you, and let's get started. So let's log in first. QCLI. So it has only two methods to log in. First, with the builder ID like awsapps.com, and with a pro license if you directly go to the Q and purchase a pro license. So I'm gonna go with the builder ID for now. So let's see, it will open up the browser and will take the session. If I'm already logged in, it will just simply say that successfully logged in. Let's come back to the terminal and check. Okay, it's still waiting. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it asks like allow Amazon Q Developer for command line access to your data. Allow. Request approved. You can see device authorized and logged in successfully. Now first Q plus enter, and let me show you how exactly it looked like. So this is the prompt. So you can first interact with the basic query like hey Q, how are you doing? It's thinking now, and yeah, so there is a result. Okay, now let's try to do more dive deep into this. So basically it's totally upon your thought that how you leverage this tool. So let me show you what I can do with this CLI. So let's ask some query. So as I will ask multi-line query, so first I will quit this interactive session, and now I will use the CLI with non-interactive method. So there is a command Q chat. Basically, first of all, to print all the help options, you can use this command, and I'm gonna use directly chat in my terminal. Okay, so Q chat, then I will ask some queries like analyze resources in AP-South-1 region, and what needs to be analyzed. Let's say find S3 buckets with public access, and let's say list IAM users with access keys older than 90 days. Okay, and you can also ask like identify EC2 instances without required security logs, and what else we can think of. Yeah, so we can also ask like list any fail API calls made in last 24 hours. So I think that is enough for now. We can just simply double code it, and then as I don't want to get interactive session, I just want output. So I will use no interactive, and I will use trust. Okay, that option I will show you later. First, let's go with this and see what the output is. Okay, so you can see it has started printing the output. So first it is trying to find S3 bucket with public access. So you can see it completed in just 1.143 second. Okay, it used S3 API in the backend. Okay, and region which we basically commanded. It performs this operation, and then it also prints that what tool it used. It used use underscore AWS. Basically, use underscore AWS is the tool behind this entire CLI. Basically, this invokes or calls AWS API calls on your behalf. So this one also used by this tool. So yeah, so you can see there was a bucket fantasyhub.in, and operation it performed get public access block, and the label is check public access block for fantasyhub.in bucket. So I'm more interested in the output, the final result. So you can see it says listing API called fail in the last 24 hours, blah blah blah, error, tool approval required but no interactive was specified, use trust all tools to automatically approve tools. Okay, so that is what I was trying to show you. So basically trust all tools. So in the backend, it uses multiple tools to basically interact with your AWS services, to interact with your file system in your local, basically local computer, and it can also interact with basically your bash script to create a file in your local machine, to read files from your file system. So basically, it can do a lot of stuffs. I'll show you later. So you can see now for every step it is trusted. Now let's wait for the result. It says missing required parameters in lookup attributes, attribute key, attribute value, attribute key must be blah 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 blah. Not an issue. Let's wait until it's completed. Okay, so here is the overall analysis. So you can see as per Q, based on my analysis of your AWS resources in AP South 1 region, here are the findings. So there are some critical findings. The bucket fantasyhub.in has public access configured. Okay, it says public policy, allow public read access, get S3, get object, and principal is star. So basically I created it basically intentionally to show you the demo and proof that it works great. Okay, so you can see that it successfully found my publicly configured bucket. Okay, and it says the bucket inventory 122132 has proper public access blocking enabled. So it is also giving this output. So now this was for S3 ask, and let's see for IAM user with old access keys. So it says critical finding, user automation has an access key that is 1738 days old, created March 31 2020, and the access key ID is this, status is active, age is 4.7-year-old. So you can see this is a high risk and it is a critical finding. So basically, let's say if you are working as a DevOps and your manager asks you to perform some sanity and find some security leaks in your infrastructure. So nowadays it has become a very easy task. Now you don't need to go through your CloudTrail for recent API calls, and you don't need to go through your entire each and every IAM user policies and all to find the security leaks. You can simply ask Amazon Q CLI and it will do everything for you, and it saves a lot of time. So you can say in EC2 instance it says good news, no EC2 instance are currently running in AP South, so there are no instance. So yeah, there is no instance in my account as of now. You can see failed API calls in last 24 hours. So you can see found 2 failed API calls by the automation user. So it also giving you the username which tried to run that API call and failed. So you can see this run instances API call was failed today itself, because I made it intentionally to show you. So, and the error is client invalid AMI not found. Okay, so I used this simple AMI, basically just random name AMI 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. That's why it is giving error, because it was not found. So it is also giving you a suggestion like immediate action required. So it says secure the public S3 bucket this, enable full public access blocking, reviewing and assisting the bucket policy, rotate the old access key for user automation, because that was also one of the finding. And then it says fixing the automation script that is trying to use invalid AMI. So as you can see that they have basically Amazon Q has summarized all of our ask along with the suggestions to fix the issues. So let me show you what tools it use in the backend. So you can query like print tools you use in backend. Yeah, so you can see fs_write. Basically this uses this tool to create, edit and modify files on your system. fs_read also to read and list the directories. Execute bash, basically run bash commands on your system. Use AWS, which makes AWS API CLI call. Okay, and report issues to open a GitHub issue to report problem or feature request. So you can even basically create a GitHub issue using Amazon CLI, Q CLI. That is really great thing. So let me show you one last example where Q can interact with your local system as well. So Q chat create basic DevOps CI/CD pipeline. Create basic DevOps CI/CD pipeline for Jenkins, and store it in /root/my Jenkins file. I would say no interactive -- trust all tools. So let's see if Amazon Q Developer CLI is able to do it or not. So as per the output, I will create a basic DevOps CI/CD pipeline for Jenkins and store it in the specified location. Oh, really? Let's wait for the output. It's taking a longer time. Oh my god, it created the Jenkins file. Wow, that is amazing tool. So you can see this is the path of the file, and you can see the summary of this, basically the summary of what you asked. So it says it has successfully created a comprehensive Jenkins ADC pipeline in this location, and the key feature also. And you can see pipeline stages. So it has introduced checkout, build, test, code quality, build Docker images. So let's see if it actually created a file or not. Oh yes, it created a Jenkins file. So basically you can leverage the Q Developer CLI to build a CI/CD pipeline as well. Okay, so I think that is all for today's session. I hope you enjoyed this video.